Welcome, reality programmers. Today, I'm talking about tax and the taxation system. So taxes are imposed upon us using dark magic. Surprise, surprise. And with awareness, we can undo this. I even shocked ChatGPT. So maybe we need some tax on some things, but tax is out of control. And profits from tax or revenues from tax are abused and stolen by governments. So now is the timing to participate as the being the God that you are, to do something about it. This video is valid anytime because we work in true divine time and not fraudulent linear time. Timing is magic. The more we know, the more we are aware of, the better we do. So this year, 2025, US President Trump made headlines with his new taxation plans that included raising tariffs or taxes on imports. Whether this is a good or bad thing, it doesn't matter because it is an energetically good time to slam taxes on people or to get rid of taxes altogether. Humanity has been slammed with taxes by dark magicians, dark magic, in our unawareness for a long time. How, you might ask? Well, everything is energy, and the dark agenda use our cosmic clock to select the best time energetically to make changes in our timeline and create events. Nothing is done randomly. And as we discover their dark magic, we can undo it. So our abusive worldwide taxation systems did not start, nor will they end with any president or politician. Politicians won't fix our tax problems. It is us who have the power and authority to get rid of tax abuse. So please participate in reclaiming our sovereignty and stop the abusive worldwide taxation systems. Today, I'm going to share with you my deep dive into the energy of tax, with the intent to correct this dark magic. The energy of the abuse of the taxation or tax surfaced for me in November 2025 with a meteor shower. The Leonids are an annual meteor shower associated with the comet Tempel-Tuttle, peaking around mid-November. The Leonids get their name from the location of their radiant in the constellation Leo. The meteors appear to radiate from that point in the sky. The Leo, or the lions, are our timeline guardians. The Leonids are known for their fast meteors and can produce spectacular meteor storms approximately every 33 years, which can produce over 1,000 meteors per hour. Notable storms occurred in 1833, 1866, and 1966. The comet Tempel-Tuttle comes back to the sun every 33 years. What a magical number. And each visit, it creates a new dust trail. Now, these trails can stay in space for hundreds of years. And because of this, the Earth can pass through dust trails that are very old, hundreds of years old. So between 2021 and 2030, the Earth will pass through the dust from the comet of 1733, even though that was a long time ago. So what happened in 1733? Well, I asked ChatGPT to list significant events that happened in 1733, and I noticed, or what stood out to me, were many events linked to abundance and a few linked to tax. And more interesting events of 1733, English replaces Latin and Law French as the official language of English and Scottish courts. A fleet of Spanish ships sunk off the Florida Keys. They were transporting valuable cargo, including gold, silver, and other precious goods, when they encountered severe weather conditions. It is also known as the 1733 Spanish Treasure Fleet. And with all these 33 numbers, I then asked ChatGTP to link taxation and the number 33. And I was shocked at what came out. And even funnier, ChatGTP was also shocked. It stated that it was surprised at the connections. So here are the main symbolic, historical, and conspiracy-linked ideas that people connect between 33, the number 33, and taxation. There are surprisingly many, ChatGTP says. So the first one is the 33% tax rate in US tax history. For many years, the US federal income tax had a 33% bracket. With biblical connections, tithing and the age of 33. So Jesus is believed to have died at 33, and tithing is 10%, but some mystics say the full spiritual tax is 33%, 1/3 of oneself. Freemasonry's 33 degree and tax laws. There were a few key tax events in 1733. The Molasses Act, where the British Parliament put a tax on molasses, sugar, and rum imported into the American colonies. The Excise Bill proposal of 1733 was to impose a domestic tax on various goods. It was quite controversial. It would allow officers to search private homes for untaxed goods. So it was very strongly opposed, and the bill was eventually withdrawn. Taxation events around the famous Leonid meteor shower of 1833 included the British Reform Act. It wasn't a tax itself, but it shifted political power and led to new tax debates. The 1833 US Compromise Tariff. It reduced tariffs after the nullification crisis, and it was one of the most important tax deals in early American history. And more taxation events around 1866. In fact, this period was full of major tax developments. 1861 was the first US federal income tax created to fund the Civil War. 1862, the creation of the IRS. The Internal Revenue Service was born. 1864, expanded US income tax brackets. And 1867, major tax code revisions, simplified Civil War taxes, but expanded excise taxes. So the entire era surrounding the 1866 Leonids was a turning point in global taxation. And then tax events around the 1890s. 1894, US income tax of 2% was created, but it was later struck down as unconstitutional. And 1898 was the US War Revenue Act. It added taxes on many goods, such as beer, tobacco, and telegrams, to pay for the Spanish-American War. And taxation expanded massively just before the 1899 meteor activity. The Leonard's meteor shower of 1933 saw in 1932 the US Revenue Act, one of the largest peacetime tax increases in US history. In 1933, a New Deal tax changes, banking reforms, corporate taxes, and alcohol excise tax after prohibition ended. So this period reshaped the global economy. The Leonard's meteor shower of 1966. From 64 to 65, there were major US tax cuts. both personal and corporate tax rates. In 1966, there were new excise tax changes to help fund the Vietnam War spending. So the 1966 Leonids aligned with one of the most dramatic shifts in post-war taxes. And the Leonids of 1999, many states reduced income and property taxes during the tech boom. These weren't as dramatic globally, but a part of a major shift towards tax reduction. So the interesting pattern when looking through history, the Leonid meteor peak eras often align with years where major tax systems were created or restructured. 33-year cycles and taxation. Many historians note that major tax reforms or crises in US, Europe, and Asia occur on roughly 30 to 35-year cycles, often matching periods of economic restructuring. Cosmic cycles and taxation. Astronomical or cosmic cycles, like comet orbits, meteor showers, or planetary alignments, seem to coincide with major fiscal events, taxation changes, or economic crises. Some researchers and numerologists call this cosmic taxation because patterns repeat in 33-year or similar cycles. And the Lyrid meteor shower, which is from April 15th to the 22nd each year, is one of the oldest known meteor showers with records back to 687 BCE. And every year, tax week in the US overlaps with the start of the Lyrid's meteor shower. So April 15th is the modern USA tax deadline. And a full moon, the April full moon varies each year, but it often falls near April 14th, 15th, or 16th. So why is mid-April symbolically powerful? Because it's the Lyrid meteor shower that begins then. The sun shifts from Aries to Taurus, which is a money sign. April 15th is near the midpoint between equinox and solstice, which was an ancient tax period. April 15th is often close to the Paschal full moon of Easter, which is linked to tithing and debt release. So the comet Tempel-Tuttle returns every 33 years. It historically coincides with major political or tax restructures. 1733 was the Molasses Act, which was a huge colonial tax. 1766 was a repeal of the Stamp Act. 1799 to 1800, early US tax crisis and UK income tax. 1833, nullification crisis, the compromise tariff. 1866, Civil War taxes and the creation of the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service of the USA. 1899, turn of century banking or tariff era. 1933, a New Deal with massive tax restructuring. 1966, Great Society tax financing. 1999, Taxpayer Relief Acts and IRS reform. 2032 is the next alignment. So what do you think will happen then? Well, with our awareness that this time frame, this window of opportunity to create the taxation energy that we want, which for me is like no tax, but when we're aware of the magic, we can manifest better and make sure that this window of taxation energy is not used against us. We are birthed into this realm with an abundance authority that is ours alone. It is the energy to manifest the wealth that is required for our soul plan. These can be corrupted, stolen, and usurped. I do have a video about abundance that has some revocations and inner work at the end, and I'll put the link below. So with our awareness And being the gods that we are, and as we hold a lot of authority in our realm, we can make sure that we use our magic and our intent to create a better tax energy and not one that is used against us. We can use this window of energy creation to manifest abundance, wealth, joy, peace, sovereignty, and freedom. And this is how we reclaim our world of magic. By awareness, magic is real, and if we are unaware, it is used against us. So, thank you for participating, and thank you for watching.